Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and welcome to the Village of Richmond Springs Board of Trustees meeting for March 2021. We'll start out with a couple of further changes in our administration. Our DPW supervisor abruptly quit on Monday, the 1st of March. So that position, I thought it was adequate to position the house and then take any in-house people. May not have been correct, the board will be more, I think and in the meantime, can we hire an interim DPW supervisor? We have somebody in, we'll hire him at the same rate that we posted. We did all the amenities to that position. But he gave me that office work. That's probably. No objection, but to temporarily, now I may have to ask them to very important about no home likely position in house. So I'll go back and the part of the operator. Right? So in the meantime, there's the Joe come. I would also like, on the same subject, offer something. We can make a retroactive promotion. So for the last year, during the pandemic, go and supervisor, from the and I put an operator. 39 days and department. People retroactive branch. Calculation. My calculation would be about $650 to pay and total cost of the village. That's what we mentioned, where was the most go. 39 days, March and April, last year. 12 hours of street time and 15 hours of overtime. Rate 19, 20. It's under 2,000, down right there. Motion to retroactively.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Now, as a please, what happens if you post it? What do you want to do about that? Yeah, what I want to know. No, I'm asking you, what would you do? So temporary. Whatever. What feels that I did what was right, I should not put stuff in conflict like that. Oh, that's what you're gonna write, you're gonna get advertising. Independent. And then I just.
No, it doesn't have to be. It's not a legal ad, it's an employment ad.
Okay, so is it all right if we just both of them? We have one application. I'll post it until.
Just today, after we'll probably do it in a couple of days, and then maybe give it a week. Maybe about
We can try.
22nd, maybe. Then we have a whole nother week before the meeting even.
That's what I
Like
mean.
the 19th, how about the 19th?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yep. Oh, the pen figure, that's true. Yeah, because it. Yeah. Yeah, it's only a week. I can throw it in the Daily Star. Yeah, any interested party should get rid of anything. Okay, okay. Online. We're gonna advertise it at what? Okay, gotcha. Right? I did that. That's right. Around with it.
If the village is interested in taking down that tree at the village expense, we have to keep the tree. And make it available to the public, the whole village.
And when you say village, are we hiring?
Well,
Hire the ones up in the tree.
We're kind of getting, yeah, make it available.
I can't hear you.
Hire some firm, to take that tree down, their responsibility.
Well, yes and no. You may end up getting a price break on the removal of the tree if you had whoever hired in to cut the tree down and get it on the ground. Or just drop the tree and then had our DPW guys cut the tree up and remove it. It would be, probably not a whole lot less. Most of the time when you pay to have a tree drop, the majority of the price is on the job. Cutting it up and taking it away is not hardly any.
But even if the remover can take the tree, it's village property, you gotta make the distinction what that letter says. We need to request.
What kind of tree is it?
They don't.
Right, but what kind? No, maple.
Maple.
That is.
I don't
maple.
know.
Yeah,
Um,
I like that
I
tree.
don't know.
You should put it like,
I like that tree.
You want?
they know.
I like it standing on, but it's in there.
But anyway, the wording has to be such that the village owns the tree.
What would you do? So don't do it.
That's up. And then chip it out in a couple of years when you chip it back,
Or I want to make them cut it up.
use it for firewood.
But I'd rather see that.
Yeah, and then put that over in pile of big trees.
Well, even still, it goes down to the dump,
Right.
and whatever happens.
Put it over in brush pile. That's where I was hearing on my road. Brush pile.
Did that answer the question in there?
I haven't met that one, but my other question would be, I don't know, how large is this tree?
Fairly
Quite high.
high.
Well, yeah, I mean, around.
Oh, no, is it that big?
Yeah, it's a good sized tree.
Well, when you say DPW, do we have a saw big enough to cut that tree?
Probably not, but that's the thing, you can have the guy come and do the trade, just dump it at the dump.
Or there, you have our guys.
Well, they cut it up, block it up in sections, like when we do it, we have a skid steer with gravel bucket on it, and we only have to cut it in 8-foot lengths. Or 10-foot lengths, however long, whatever trailer we have, and then you just dump the logs in the trailer, log sections and limit, and throw limbs on the bottom, logs on top and dump. So it's not really expensive.
Or we could have it come through there.
Right, so I mean, we can have the village guys haul it even, just have it loaded into the village shop or loaded into the, whoever is hired to cut it,
We have to see the wood.
and then just bring it down to the dump and dump it.
Okay, now, what happens if the contractor who cuts it, says, I don't want the tree?
We have to see what he wrote.
That's part of the, bid.
Right, we haven't accepted it as a bid yet.
No, but I'm just saying,
So that we, like I said, we have to write that in and show them the village property.
I mean, we get it down, it's the safety part.
So we'll take one more look at that, that estimate.
Who gave the estimate? Yes,
Yeah.
AJ did. Yeah.
They had two, somebody else gave an estimate. No, he gave one estimate for both trees.
For 2 trees.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Okay. Yes, okay, that's right. Okay, so you don't have to have that estimate, do you? I know it's 1,200.
Is this tree on village property?
It's in the right of way, no, it's not. It's this side of the sidewalk, this side of the sidewalk, this street side of the sidewalk.
You know where Vernon Street is?
Yeah, no, I understand, I'm
It's
just
the one
wondering,
directly across from Vernon Street.
if it's between the sidewalk and the road,
Yeah.
so that's actually village. It's right, it's our.
Village right, yeah. it's
According to
village.
that, that's saying it's in the right of way.
Yeah.
So it's our responsibility.
Right,
So I think the other thing to do is we will get in contact with the owner too, so we're not taking. No, it can go away. Who owns that? I have to look at it. I know somebody told me. Paul was talking about it. I don't remember the name. Bolts? They still own it? No, I think they sold.
Well, it hasn't sold yet, it's under contract.
Okay. That's-
It's under contract, so technically, right now, I don't think, I mean, for all intents and purposes, nobody really owns it at the moment.
Hopefully, we don't have any snowstorms and we
Right.
can take a look at
If the contract goes through, I believe it's Dave Gravel.
it. Okay, thank you.
Went and buy it, it was hard.
I
Anyway.
already have it.
Yeah, too.
Okay, so we'll bring right back to the next meeting. We'll go through. I would like also to get your approval for, Doug, at the water treatment plant to buy some garnet. He had an estimate in our budget that was $5,000, and he came dollars over it. But the problem with the garnet is that it's a special, a limited supply. You only get it from certain places, cut just to a certain size, and actually cut the specifications of, DOH and EPA. There's not really a lot of places he can go, so he doesn't have quotes. He doesn't get multiple quotes, like a $5,000 purchase would require. So if we can approve the purchase of the garnet for his tank at the, water treatment plant, this table, we can go ahead and order them and get himself going.
Is it the same place you bought the last three times?
I believe it. It was the closest place, it said the next closest place was like South Carolina or something like that. I believe it.
Where's this one?
New York State somewhere, Keysville. Yeah, but if you were to buy it somewhere else, you might get cheaper, but you would ship one, so.
I didn't buy a mistake.
And it's a, yeah. All right, so if there's no objection, can we get an approval for the garnet purchase?
I think
It's gonna come to, $5,136.
make the motion.
And a second, and a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, that's good. You should know, I told them we probably would approve it, but they'll just be tell the heck up, my else in order if they get it. So. Bulk water, Dale. There's a request for service at the cemetery, right? You want to tell them about it?
Put in writing, requested, if they bought it, they are living in Florida, giving a double back and being tiny home on the property. And they request, the water service. They paid off the water part of the bill, but residual owed on that bill, and it's been changed over to, the bond name, because it's on that tax, it's on tax that way. There is just the line fee so far, and that will be their responsibility, either way, with the board has to approve it or not, because they've been there as long as that. So my thought is, if the board is going to approve it, that's fine, but if not, we wouldn't still be charging them line fees if we're not going to authorize the water use of water. Just something to think about.
Okay. So do we have any objection to the line goes up there already, the hookup is there. We just need to make the connection to the house.
No, there's new.
We need to turn on, but I think they have, don't they have to fix the connection? Was that in my thinking?
Well, it doesn't, the meter doesn't work. It never has.
Oh, just meter then, okay. So we would need to install one. It's all
Where's this at?
on Cemetery Street, it's overgrown.
Old
for a
stitches
long
and
while.
stuff.
That old
Yeah.
house that sits over in the east.
That was the last page.
Across the street from the cemetery. Right by the
I think
substation.
so. Yellow was it or something? You wouldn't have seen this work there.
Yeah, yeah.
So, something.
They demolished the home, the garage up.
But isn't it outside the road?
It is, so they'll be charged the appropriate outside.
But we already supplied water to that place before.
Right, that was one of the bigger arrearages that we've ever seen.
There was
And they paid it all.
owed to the village on that property. And like the Dale was just saying, when Bond bought the property, they paid the arrears, right?
Well, Seaholders check came in, so it was probably because we let them know, so it's probably negotiated closing.
Okay.
So the Seaholders did, but the land piece that had been informed to be found.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something about that line.
They couldn't find it.
Yeah,
They
shut off.
shut off.
We
It's
down-
way,
Yeah.
if you shut it off, you shut off that whole road, right?
I think that's the one.
Yeah, towards Lake Street.
Yeah, no, there's something about it.
We approved the water service plan
And then the meter cut.
and the installation.
Should we put a shut off there, though, right, the house and just,
I think it is, actually. They thought it was further away from maps that they had, but if Joe's on, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's actually right at their house, right there, or across the street, right there.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no original.
I remember waiting to.
Joe, can you hear us?
I can hear you right now, but I can't hear anything else that they're saying. It's all mumbled. It's like they're talking from across the room.
I
We
mean,
haven't been able to hear anything.
let me see.
We're
How
talking
about-
about you anyway.
How about now? How about
No,
now?
I still can't hear Robin.
Did you use the microphone the last
No, I did not.
Can you hear her now?
I could hear you a lot better.
We have-
very faintly, but if you start talking like louder and a lot, it just becomes mumbled.
But I wonder if the live stream is catching us. This is,
Yeah, the live stream probably would be better if you go on.
I think last time you had the computer in front of Robin and we could hear you perfectly clear.
all right, well,
Can I put it on the side of your desk,
if you can reach. Thank you.
How about now?
So the question, Joe, is do you know about the shut off in front of 125 Cemetery? Is that shut off right in front of the house or is it down the road on Lake Street?
That's
Water
the
shut-
one that they tore down the building and building something else, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's technically on Lake Street.
But that's down on Lake Street then. Okay.
Yeah,
That's right.
Should we put one there though? That way we don't have to shut the whole street down.
I think there was an issue with putting one there. As in they know, yeah, this is working now, so we weren't gonna mess with it. Is there a problem with changing where the shut off is, Joe?
You'd probably have to run a new line because it runs underneath that power station there. I think the plan was to either run a new line if they wanted water or put another shut off near the house on their property in case anything were to happen.
Oh, I think Doug was all right with just turning the water on. That's what it sounded like to me. Is that right, Dale?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'll find out differently, but.
All right. They don't need the water just yet. They're not.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll know for the next meeting. Can you leave that on the agenda, please?
Yep.
Joe, since you said you didn't hear us, just so you're not surprised tomorrow, the board didn't feel that that I may not have advertised the position for DPW superintendent appropriately, so I will publish that as an out of village advertisement, so it'll go in the newspaper, and we would like to hire you for a temporary promotion to that position until such time as it's filled.
Okay.
So we'll talk tomorrow if you need to. But I
Sure.
don't want you to be surprised in case the YouTube people can hear us and you couldn't.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, if we're done with that, I have one more water issue and I want to put in front of you right now. I talked to Doug and Chris and they would like some authorization to sell bulk water to a certain degree, so they don't have to keep running to the board to get our confusing pay scale just for a truckload every once in a while. And what they suggested was, I thought was pretty decent. They suggested another scale, like up to 5,000 gallons of water that you buy, pay $25. This is for larger, like cedars and things like that. All right, people that are using it for commercial. The next level would be $25. The next level after that would be a certain amount. Does anybody object to giving that kind of authority to our our department supers? It would save a lot of, they don't get that many offers or requests rather, but it would be nice to be able to handle it to a certain point. And then all they do is turn in the sale to the office and the pay comes right to them. They don't have to mess with bills or anything like that. Get a handheld, excuse me, a handheld invoice, write it out. One goes to the office, one goes.
Would be prepaid.
No, you will have the bill and it will be paid to you. Because likely it's not going to come from somebody that is authorized to pay it. But, and it won't be a huge, it doesn't sound like it could be a huge loss. Those guys know who's trustable.
Right. As long as that bill that he fills out gives one to the customer and sends one, it's got to be some kind of a letterhead with the village onto it, or?
I was going to suggest that we can write something up.
Yeah.
Some tripart.
Everybody knows it's, and it's numbered, so that number and this number
Yes.
correspond.
Yes,
So it'll be like an invoice, you can generate an invoice.
Right.
you can, but you won't be doing all of that. You won't necessarily do it in your office. They'll have like the ticket book that we give. You know what tickets look like.
Carbon copy.
Yeah, you carbon copy under it. One ticket goes one place, one goes another place. Be like that. then you'll get a copy so that you know to expect the money. Then the copy goes to the company pays the bill like that.
Yeah, usually.
But it's serial so that we don't lose
Right.
track of them,
Gotcha.
or so that payments aren't misapplied. So the scale that they suggested was up to $5,000, 25, or up to 5,000 gallons rather, $25. The next 5,000 would be 50. The next 5 would be 75. And if you buy between 15,000 and 20,000, you pay 100. Up to, well, let's see, they have up to 20 gallons, 20,000. But we would have to give them a cutoff. They can't go selling 50,000 gallons,
Without
150,000
board
gallons without board approval.
So when you do the scale and then they'll vote on it, or they want to?
They want approval to do it. I don't know if there's anybody, there's somebody that needs it now. It's a state job. Somebody's contracted with the state. So if we could approve that tonight, and if you want to, this scale doesn't look too bad to me, if you guys want to approve it.
5,000 gallons, is an extra $50. Or,
25.
Yeah, 25,
25.
25,
Every-
25 for each.
5,000 gallons.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's more than what the taxpayer pays in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did the work. They said it's enough to cover. It's not gonna be a punch in the teeth to the taxpayers, the users.
It's more than what the
It'll sell
tax-
cheaper than what we pay.
Right.
What's the taxpayer rate for that? Do we know offhand? I don't know.
Well, the minimum bill for just water is $5.17 per 1,000
For
gallons.
1,000,
So.
and it goes up.
Probably 11 to 12, probably 13 something for 5,000 gallons.
Okay. So it's $10 more than the taxpayer pays on average per gallon.
No, actually, that's up to 3,000, up to 5, right, up to 5,000.
5,000 is 13.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close to double. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I should need to talk. All
I'm all right with that.
right, so we can use that scale too. Then can we approve that tonight? For both water sales, the recommended scale that was given to us.
Yeah, just put a cap on it, that's all. So we can't-
What's the max? 20,000? 40,000?
I'd say 25.
I mean, it's not gonna be. it's
What's the
not gonna be a
truckload?
lot.
What's the truckload?
We don't really know how much water they're gonna use. We don't know that.
Right,
Right.
but there aren't that many requests, and they're not gonna advertise it, it's just people come to them.
Yeah. Let's
I mean, a truck's not
Let's
gonna
see.
hold 40,000 gallons.
So it'd be two trips, it'd be,
Even tractor trailers won't hold 40,000.
No.
40,000 gallons, it's 8 pounds per gallon. What's a tractor trailer allowed to haul? 53,000 pounds there.
How many?
Axles.
Yeah.
Like a typical 18
Cap of
wheeler.
25,000.
Yeah, because you think of like milk truck. I think it's like 30.
Per transaction, right? So say I came in and I bought 25,000 gallons on my tractor trailer in the morning, and I went and used that water on my state job, and then I turned around and came back and filled up with another 25,000 gallons a month. Could you do 2 transactions in the same day? Or is there a hitch to that?
well, that would be 2 different vendors probably, but I'm thinking maybe we should leave that discretion to our supervisors.
Okay, that's fine.
They know, like I said, they know who they're dealing with, they know who would be not trustworthy.
Right. So cap it at 35 or 40 and
Okay,
then,
Yeah, I just.
pick a number.
Worry about it. I buy it for this much and I sell it for this much.
The,
You know.
yeah, no, this is for, Doug and Chris are pretty certain that they're not gonna get that kind of,
Yeah,
and they can refuse anybody.
1 or 2 people.
They can refuse
Very
anybody.
lucky.
well, even if you're buying it for something and selling it for something, if it's double what the taxpayers are paying already when we sell it, then how much can you possibly sell that same water for?
Right.
You know,
My really concern is what they haul in and what they use it. Okay? If they haul 20,000 gallons of water out of here into a tank that's contaminated and they put it in somebody's drinking well, and that contaminates the family,
where does it go? You know, that's my
Are
concern.
we liable for some drinking water?
We haven't been,
Or are we saying it's non-potable water?
Yeah, non-potable.
If you say it's non-potable water when you sell it, because you don't know what the tank that they're putting it into is.
Right.
So we're not technically selling drinking water.
you're right, we're not. This is no different than any other time somebody's coming to us and asked for a bulk sale.
Right.
It's just not ordinarily asked for the responsibility of making a transaction, these departments.
Right. Usually
Ordinarily, they come before the board and
for
ask.
approval, right. I think I'm okay with it.
I don't see how, we're not gonna have like 20 people doing
It's
that.
not
No.
like,
They have to have.
If we get one, we'd be lucky.
they have one.
They have somebody-
They have the state contract job is waiting for approval on it.
That we asked it,
To
we
buy
asked
water
for,
from us, so that we have to at least prove the state and then we can visit it.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
I would check with the attorney about that.
Okay, can I authorize them to sell the water to the contractor that's already requested? That's this week.
Yes.
And at the rates that they've established here, the request, recommended here?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Uh, Okay, do we usually have to approve that, Dale?
Yeah.
Water sale? Okay, may I have a motion then, please, to approve the sale of water at the rates recommended in Doug's email to me for the upcoming job in the next week or week and a half, whatever it is.
I'll make a motion.
And a second, and a vote?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
All right, and yes, and, check on liability. All right. We have, man, is it still Tuesday?
so far.
A request from Jim Jordan in our village. Dear Dale, I would be willing to donate some linden trees to replace the missing trees on Main Street, as well as replace several of the existing craggly trees, which tend to be unsightly. My offer is to make arrangements to purchase the trees, plant them, and maintain them, which is watering for 1 year. I would appreciate your presenting my offer to the village board. If anybody needs to know what a linden tree is, it's up on the corner of River Street and Main. Those trees that kind of tear-shaped trees. It doesn't say how many are here, but I'm sure he already did the count, and he would replace all of the ones that he thought needed replacement. Be his responsibility to maintain them, but he doesn't say if we have to water them and he pays for the water, or if he's gonna have somebody water them. We could find that out, and I honestly don't know. Are you willing to consider it?
Yeah.
To replace those trees?
That's the trees are in the little grates.
Yeah.
Yes. Do we have a problem with those grates?
A lot of problem with roots and stuff and the grass growing from it, and nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You know, because you have anybody with a herbicide license to spray. But I don't know what this tree is. What kind of, I don't know what that is.
It's the deciduous tree on Lake, or Main and River Street. He planted them, you know what Jim Jordan's building is?
But in that little park area?
Yeah, where the chair is, those trees that dot the Main Street side. I can't remember how many there are there. They might go back a little too. Not the evergreens, whatever ones aren't evergreen.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure those are all lindens. But you can ask, you can stop in and ask. He would be happy to tell you.
Well, I'm just, because they're so close to the curb, when they start to grow and the branches go this way, do they go high and then go out?
I don't know how they grow.
And even down to the sidewalk, you know, restrict people from walking or car from parking. I mean, my personal, they shouldn't have been trees there anyways, because of that reason.
Okay, growth direction. I can find out.
Yeah.
You don't have to decide now. I can find out, but he has to order them. That's the thing. I think he needs some lag time to order them.
A lot of like time.
Yeah,
That's my only concern.
okay. Does anybody want to take this up tonight?
Because we've got a good 2 weeks in between the meetings.
Yeah, at least.
They're gonna have a really hard time playing them. It's gonna be a pain, but, I mean, it's doable.
Yeah.
And linden trees don't grow huge if I'm,
They maintain that shape, don't they? That, it's like
yeah,
a,
they're prunable, so, but
Yeah,
that's another
yeah.
thing, you might have to prune them.
Yeah,
to
you
not
would.
let them grow.
well, I was about to say, they do them now for the ones that are.
You would, because otherwise they get little and look awful.
I was
And
trying-
they're not, they don't blossom, so they don't make that mess everywhere.
Right.
Um, If he's willing to front the cost of the trees and have them put in and everything like that. And I mean, I think if anything, we're gonna have more of a headache with the trees that are there now, continuing to get bigger. Rather than pulling them out and planting something else, because once you cut the roots, they're basically gonna have to go in down that grade and cut off a big square and then excavate that big square somehow. And not disturb the pavers and stuff. So.
Yeah, that's.
Well, unless they get a,
Right, because if you have one root connected, and those roots are spread under the road and the pavers and everything else. I personally like the trees on the side of the road, I like that a lot,
Yeah, I agree.
but, I just, it's gonna have to be in a clause somewhere or something like that it needs to be restored to this, like the pavers and surrounding area needs to be restored to the manner it was in which.
Yeah, to the original condition.
Right, to the original condition after the planting,
yeah,
just so
unless they get
that,
a,
if whatever contractor comes in to plant them and pulls it out and disturbs a bunch of the pavers, then they also have to
Yeah.
relay the pavers down and have it looking, correct
Do you
again.
want those grates replaced? If he has to remove them to put the trees in,
Repainted,
just repainted.
repainted?
It's
Well, that
been-
might not be part of the deal. He's just gonna put a
Right.
tree in.
right.
But if they
Replace
have
the
to come
grate.
out, we can paint them.
I don't think we.
That's what I was
replace it.
thinking, if they came out
If they
anyway,
have to come out, but do you want them to go back in? That's my
Yeah.
question.
We have to, right?
I don't know.
trip hazard if not.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
Well, unless you brought the soil up, mounted or whatever, right?
Yeah, well, like Cooperstown has a little fence.
Exactly.
You either need a grate or a fence, I think, I don't even think a mound is okay.
Well, something just so you can't step into it.
Right.
So we'll be responsible then for putting the grates back.
Right, I would think.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
Well,
right.
whoever plants the tree, you have to plant the tree inside the grate, otherwise you never get the grate back on.
Oh, they don't, oh, I thought they snapped around.
I don't think so. I think
No, they're
it's
loose.
solid square grate.
No, they're
Oh, it
loose, they're
is.
split.
Are they splitting that?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you can
and
see
you-
one right on Main Street
And you
coming
snap
up.
it in.
Okay, in that case, then, yeah,
Okay,
I was thinking they were solid grate.
No, that's what I thought at
Put the
first,
tree in and
no.
then put backfill,
Yeah, it's a split so that
There's
the,
not a hole big enough to.
Half circle.
Put a
no,
roof around the wall into.
no, that's true.
all right. So then
Man,
on
if they-
behalf of the village,
if they use a
we can graciously
baller.
accept this generous offer and let him know.
I think so.
All right, let's make
As long as
a,
he, as long as he put it back to original state.
All right.
Rates now.
let's make a motion then,
so moved.
and a second, and a vote.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
And
Yes.
yes, thank you. Dale, can you, let him know?
I sure can.
And, we can ask about, you can pass that
Tom
down.
Link.
I would,
You can put some big old ones out too.
I would suggest he uses
That's what it sounds like. He wants to replace some of them.
I would suggest he uses somebody that has a crawler too,
Well,
to dig it out.
I'll tell you what, if I want to know about this guy, he'll do it right.
Yeah, I 100% guarantee that.
Yeah, I don't think we have to tell him how to do it. If there's no objection, then, oh, wait a minute, we have one more Mr. Jordan issue. It's right under those big pages. Those pages are architectural renderings of an improvement that Jim Jordan would like to make on his property. On the same street, we talked about those other linden trees. You can turn them over. I just put them that way to flatten them out a little. He wants to install curb on the River Street side of that property, the corner of River and Main Street.
Alongside park, alongside the park.
Yes, that is, we're calling that a park, yeah, I guess. He wants to install, Dale, do you have a narrative for that? There was narrative with that, wasn't there?
It says in the corners what he wants to do. It shows the original on top and then the other.
Right here.
plans.
There's a legend somewhere, I can't read it. But what's the
Well,
line with X's in it? Line with X's in it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I see one, a circle.
The one below that.
One below it, you know? That's two S's.
Oh.
There's no X's in it.
Joe can tell you,
so there's no,
because Joe approved it, so Joe can narrate it.
yeah,
You want me to look at it?
It's the Main Street side,
no,
isn't it?
no.
It's for the.
There's a sidewalk on Main
It's
Street.
here.
There's a sidewalk on Main Street,
Right, right here.
Yeah.
going down toward the river, the bridge.
Yeah. Okay,
You see it now?
yeah.
Okay.
How far down is it gonna go?
To
The end of his property,
line.
which is the hedge, the tree row. I don't, it might go to the river, I don't remember. But there's a bridge down there.
That's the crack in the brick.
Now, those plans, there's, no conflict with the village, requirements.
Okay.
Just so you know that.
I'm okay with it. I think it looks nice. Is it doing granite?
I don't know. My guess is no, because there's a little bit of salt there.
So I'll get a motion.
So then a motion to accept the second generous offer from Mr. Jordan to curb that side, and he might need a water hookup, but that shouldn't be a problem. There's already a hookup down there.
Yeah.
Need a motion?
Motion, please,
So moved.
and a second,
Second.
and a vote,
Yes.
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 and yes, thank you. Inform Mr. Jordan, please.
Just don't forget about Joe and Ralph, I don't know if they want to.
Thank you. Oh, we did pass. I don't see it. Captain Wellington, are you on? I see,
Yes, I'm on.
did you have an update for us today?
Yes.
Okay.
I went out and got some quotes. Well, I didn't get the quotes. I looked at pricing for the tough books, and I'm still waiting for quotes on them because they're hard to do because certain companies will not give quotes. But they range from 1,500 to 3,500. I also looked into refurbished ones that you can get from 700 to 800. So I will bring something back before the end of for next meeting.
Am I mistaken, or could you look at the state contract for those?
I didn't look at the state contracts yet.
If you go by a state contract, you don't need all those quotes.
Okay, I'll look at that then.
Okay.
Today I did my first training for Image Trend.
Oh, how'd that?
I will go through 6 weeks of it. It's an hour each day. And we should be ready by April 1st to go on board, but it'd be by myself yet, the way we're doing it now. And then everyone on the squad will start their own as soon as we get approved.
Okay.
So we're working on it.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Chief Elderkin, I didn't see you until I looked up. Do you have something tonight?
Just briefly,
Sorry about that.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Last month we did an ice rescue class sponsored by the state. It took place February 27th into 28th. It was an excellent class. I attended as much as I could. We've now got, I believe it was 9 or 10 from our department that was in the class is now certified as ice rescue technicians. Within that class, we had Milford and Scar Lake also. So we've decided and we've talked amongst ourselves. Think we'll start doing an annual training, get those two departments with us and train with them, because I'm sure we'll be mutual aiding them if we get anything on the lake or other lakes in our area. And then the air mask that we talked about last meeting was ordered under the state contract, and I have not received a delivery date for them. Other than that, I don't have anything that I can think of.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm sorry I skipped over you. I didn't see
Oh,
you.
that's all right.
All right. All right. Let's go on then. If there are no objections, we waive the reading of the minutes for the previous meeting and approve those, please.
So moved.
And a second,
Second.
and a vote,
Yes.
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 and yes. Treasurer Seaman did not distribute anything today, did she?
She did, but it's not financials.
Oh, that's right, that's right. The cemetery fund CD comes due at Cooperstown, Bank of Cooperstown, Wayne Bank. On the 11th of March, the cemetery fund CD will mature. Currently, the CD is worth $79,578.28. We have two options. One is to renew the CD at the Bank of Cooperstown, Wayne Bank for 0.3% for a 12 or 24-month CD. And option two would be to close that CD, withdraw the funds, and then transfer them to Citizens Bank where the rest of our money is. The only problem with that is that she sees is that the rates are lower than we would be getting at the Wayne Bank. Does anybody have an objection to Treasurer Seaman reinvesting the CD money into a CD at the Bank of Cooperstown?
I don't see any problem with it.
If we're gonna get more yield out of
See,
it,
problems, no.
Right, exactly.
Right now, yes. 12 months or 24,
I would go 24.
would you?
I think we're not gonna need it, right?
We don't need it, but we don't know what the rates are gonna do in the next year. And if they're
So
already,
it's a 0.3 for 12 or 24.
that's what it looks like. If it's,
Okay, well, if it's a 0.3 for 12, then do 12.
and in case the
And then
rates
you
go
can
up,
change it
Yeah.
Next year if it changes.
Yeah.
yeah, she doesn't recommend another rate here.
There's that.
So, we're good with that. We don't need to vote on that. That's the treasurer's discretion. As far as I know, and it's everything I've read. That's our policy. It's the treasurer's discretion.
Give her approval. I would.
Okay, good. Then, she gave you, that's just a reference for the money, I think.
Yeah, balance sheet tells you,
The balance sheet isn't updated yet, though. So that gives you the reference for the,
well, it says March 9th.
yeah, but it will be updated again as soon as she reconciles the accounts.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh, okay.
She just wanted to show you that
Yeah.
that's what the money was in there. In the CD.
So you're good with that? Nobody has any other recommendation? All right. Did the deputy clerk treasurer or the cemetery sexton send anything? Okay, how about the clerk? Do you have anything tonight?
I do, abstract. What did I do?
Need mine?
Good. So the only changes to the abstract is I'm going to add 2635 even to the A fund, subtract from the sewer fund 1435 and from the water fund $1,200 even. So bear that in mind because the security cameras need to go in the buildings and that's separate to the departments.
Okay.
So,
No, is that $26.35 or,
no,
No.
$2,635.
and 1,435?
You got it.
Okay.
And then, so I'll read what I have because I don't have the company.
And adjust it later.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
So,
fine.
abstract number 19, water receipt, general fund $29,642.78. Water fund $13,029.30. Sewer fund $1,882.72 for a total of $94,554.81.
Motion to approve abstract number 19 with the corrections that the clerk has made.
So moved.
And a second. And a vote.
Yes.
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 And yes.
Okay, so, election, because it's a write-in, it's very possible that we can get, have a runoff election, because anything goes. So, with that being said, to get in the comfort zone of being able to schedule the runoff with the meetings coming instead of having a special meeting, we need a resolution stating about the runoff election that would be the date of 3/30/2021. The hours would be the same, everything would be the same, it would be here, the venue, so on and so forth. But we need to get that as a resolution so that we have that in place should that happen.
Okay. And you only advertise if we need it, right?
I don't advertise, I just need the resolution because that way we'll miss that target date
Okay,
if I wait till after the election.
okay. Motion to approve special runoff election resolution.
Make a motion.
And a second. And a vote.
Yes.
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 Okay, and as stated, in order to require masks for the election, the board has to make a resolution to that effect. I just can't state that, that they can't enter without a mask. So I just need that as a board resolution.
Okay, but you were going to find out a few things first.
Well, I
Also,
still
in
do that
addition
for
to this.
elections next week.
Right, but you still need to find out a few things, right? You can't,
Well, I need to know, like, if someone's got a special reason
Condition.
not to have to wear it.
How we can accommodate that.
They can still come in, but, yeah, I mean, what are we gonna do, right?
that's just it.
But I just need to know what, if they require proof, if we require proof.
Right.
something like that.
Or if we can make a special accommodation by walking a ballot out, if that would, you could probably presumably bring the whole box out. I don't know how that works, but, so with those qualifications, we need a resolution to require masks on entry to this building for election day.
Sure.
So,
And a second,
Second.
and a vote,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
and yes.
okay, and just to remind you that we need to schedule public hearings for all of those things. We normally do it the first, week in April.
First week, the
The
first,
first meeting, excuse me, in April. So I didn't want it to be where we wait until the 30th and then we have to advertise it, because you have to have 10 days, you have to put it in the paper.
so, okay, so we can still, on the 13th, I think, yeah, 13th, the meeting would be before the first meeting of April.
Yep.
And we want to schedule a public hearing for the tentative budget, sewer rates, and the intermunicipal agreements with the fire department and their districts for the 13th of April, before our regularly scheduled meeting. Answer this, because I don't remember. If we decide to enact public law to exceed the tax cap, what kind of timing do we need for that?
I thought we had to have it done before the budget. Like we had to have it done by February. No? We always did it in January when we did do it, but I don't remember we've done it in 4 years.
Yeah,
I will look into it.
well,
We could do a resolution if need be.
I would like to do that tonight then, so that, we still have plenty of time. I think we could,
Well, it's a local law, so it's gotta be,
30 days.
well, it's gotta be tabled for 10 days before the board, so technically they should get.
Well, I'm going to present it right now,
Okay.
in verbally. So that brings us to next week sometime. And what do you need after that? 30 days?
I don't know.
Is it permissive referendum is how long? Do we need a permissive
No, it's
referendum?
not a permissive referendum.
It's a local law.
Local law. Not just, it's a local law, so it just can't be voted tonight. It has to be 10 days, so it would be the next meeting.
So we don't need a permissive referendum?
No,
Okay.
no, it's just a local law. To override the tax cap levy of 2%.
And it's 1.6% or 7% this year.
Okay. And then, would it be a public hearing, I think?
Okay, so we can do the public hearing on the same day.
Yep.
All right.
And it would be local law number 1 of
2021. So I'm presenting that right now verbally. I don't think I need to write it, right?
Correct.
I will request a resolution to exceed the allowed tax cap. And you don't have to do anything on that now. Next meeting,
Right, is when we do the resolution.
Yep. And then the hearing will be on the 13th.
Meeting.
Okay, thank you for that. I
We do
just
need the,
couldn't remember. Now we need to set the tentative, the public hearings,
Correct, for all 4 of those.
all 4 of those. Motion to set the public hearings on the 13th of April, preceding our regular meeting. So that would be a 7 o'clock start for all of those, for the first one. We open them, close them till we get to the regular meeting, right?
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of those.
Every year.
I know, it's just I don't remember them from year to year.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
So do we have a motion to set a public hearing date
Make a motion.
and a second
Second,
and a vote?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes,
And yes, and I expect to have that budget presented to the clerk this week. I ran into a little snag today, but certainly by the end of this week. So you should be able to copy it and leave it in your mailboxes.
Which technically it wouldn't have to be on the desk till the 20th, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
So, okay, I know we discussed the park events, but the farmer's market, Ronald Bazan has reached out to me. Because of COVID, they have much stricter regulations. They can't put any of the food out to be touched. They have to be separated by 10 feet, not 6. They have to wear masks, and anything they want, it's just exhibit only. Then they go 6 feet back and will pick out the selections themselves, put them in a bag and give them to them. With that in mind, can at least the farmer's market proceed this summer? No bathrooms will be used.
Right.
It's not your typical,
Right.
it did go on during COVID last year.
That's right, it did.
Yes.
That's right. I don't have an objection.
Me neither.
So,
all these stipulations is in writing someplace?
Yes, to
it's
state ag and
state,
markets.
yeah. They're controlled by
Yeah.
Will we have a copy of this?
I do. I do. I did. So much in here. Essentially, it was basically used to be 6 feet apart. They didn't have to wear masks, now they do. They have to move the food away from the general public. Everything I said is new this year for COVID.
And the owner who has the food goes back and picks the food for the person?
So the vendor, exactly.
Yeah.
When they say what they want, then they go 6 feet back to where it's stored and they bag everything and hand that to them. So they don't touch a thing, like they used to last year.
people ain't gonna like that. They like to look at the food.
Yeah,
That's the tomatoes.
yeah. Easy.
Oh, here, I'm sorry, here it is. All right, you have to wear 2 masks.
2 masks?
New York State, 2 or double masked. Yeah. Bathrooms will not be open to the public. Sanitizing stations, will be available. Face coverings, social distancing. Vendors are spaced 10 feet apart, not 6. No equal samples will be given out like they did. Vendors will display their products not for sale, for public view, and will bag items to the customer from supply that is away from the public. Posters of market requirements will be on display and sandwich board. Limited craft items, and it's an open air market.
Did we have people dropping like flies or something from this, touching the food and?
At least it's off our responsibility, we can still use our park.
And we're not, like, what is the word, like with the events, we were taking money for them, we're not.
Right.
So it's not like,
So what do they need, permission to use
it's
it for?
okay, it's what we've done in the past.
Just want you to open up and do it.
I agree. I think we should go ahead and
Yeah,
Monday
all right.
person.
Any objections to allowing the farmer's market to proceed as according to the regulations set out by the Department of Health, or the Ag and Markets, right?
And state,
What happens if we don't follow? Again,
I don't think it's on us.
Or the troopers will have to enforce
Yeah.
it. But it's,
They actually
that's
get
the rules they're
violations.
presented with in order to operate. So at that point, it's not on us anymore, I don't think.
correct.
I understand, you say, okay, they do it the first 2 weeks, okay, the third week, it just goes haywire. Do we say no more?
I guess we always have that recourse. We can,
Okay.
yeah, we can send anybody away from the
Anytime.
park. That's in our law. We can ask
But
anybody.
they would be heavily fined if they didn't follow it.
Yeah.
Through the, government.
It would be smarter to call the Ag and Markets than to kick them out. Okay, then, do you have the approval of this board?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
that's all you need right now?
Correct. Okay, just to let you know, I got a letter today, 3 o'clock, they own several properties, they rent out in the village. They bought 310 Regal Street, there's 2 apartments there. When they bought it, we never, and this has happened in the past a few different times, it slips through the cracks where they don't call or they don't get a tax search. And on our tax search form, we send what the current outstanding water bill is, so that that's paid by the current owner before, at the sale of the transaction. The attorney failed to do that, and those amounts were hefty. That was Santander Bank previously. She's writing a letter requesting that the board give leniency in some way, shape, or form. But before that, I reached out to her before I got the letter because it was missing a lot of details, like when did they buy the property, so we know exactly. Number 2, has she contacted the attorney, because they have a reserve in closings, especially if it's, not too long ago closing. So I assumed that there would be questions that Boy would ask, and I asked you to get those answers to me, and because, she's in that, living there, they're reconstructing it, is what she put in the letter. So once we get those things, I just wanted to give you a heads up beforehand. It'll be on the next meeting.
So because their legal counsel didn't do their due diligence, our village is out money?
And honestly, this has happened before with other ones, and the attorney is held responsible. It's not like, we don't have to say it's board, let's eat the charges. We can tell her, go after your attorney. By
Okay.
law, they have to do that. So I don't know if she's reached out to him or not, but I got requested that she does and
Okay.
give us the contact information and all
All right.
that.
Thank you. But we don't need to pursue that
We don't know.
because
No,
they'll
it's
attach.
up to her.
Okay,
But she did say that she got she had other financial problems with the property transaction sale, but still, it's gotta be on the attorney.
well, if she doesn't pay it, if we pay it for her, it only becomes a little minuscule part on her property on the next taxes. It's distributed among all 600 parcels in this village.
I'm sorry.
If we allow that, if we write that off, then it'll be distributed among the other 600 parcels. All the taxpayers will pay it instead of just that one.
Well, and it's just,
Yeah, okay. I
Well,
wanted to
this
make
is-
sure I was hearing what you were
this is
saying.
from
She's
the-
not asking forgiveness.
she's asking basically
Okay.
for the board to work off. It's
No,
like,
the attorney made a mistake.
It's not our problem.
and
She pays us
she's-
and then she goes after them.
Yeah.
bingo, and like I said, this isn't an uncommon thing. It's not that, but we probably have 4 of them this year. And we just tell them to go back to their attorney,
Okay.
because and they do.
Okay, good.
We don't hear anything from it. but-
Yeah, because that's from the former owner, I'm assuming.
Sometimes they don't hire attorneys.
Well, then that's part of your due diligence. Okay,
So, all right, and, then I just wrote up the thing about the vouchers
Oh,
for
okay.
more review and corrections, edits and whatnot. We can, and then I wanted to remind everyone about the organizational meeting on 4/5 at 5:05, correct?
yes, I looked it up today, as a matter of fact.
Not incorrect, like everyone can still make it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
and, that's it for me.
While we're still on this section, Trustee Leonard, did you get a chance to look at this
Yes.
policy? And does it conform with what you believe it should? It's good, so why don't we adopt that right now then, so?
Excuse me, I'm gonna interrupt. I heard your conversation and I agree with what you were saying about some of the vouchers. Like, for example, Joe Cohn, he wasn't a part number, it said casters.
Yes,
And I said something to him, he was like, oh, that was casters for, and honestly, I don't remember, but I said, oh, can you write that on there then? Because any more information that they can give us, but sometimes it is big, what the, all the things that they're buying things are for, so.
that's a training thing though, and I'm not averse to training people to do that.
And if I seriously don't know what
Yeah.
something is, a couple times it's just been part numbers.
Yeah.
And they've gone back to the vendor and gotten the actual invoice that describes what the part numbers are.
Okay,
So,
Yeah, but when they order that partner, they know what they're ordering,
yes.
you know?
Well, they just have to be instructed on how to present it, I think.
Yeah. If you're
So-
getting
so we're
part
doing
parts,
that.
It's what it is.
So going forward though, we're gonna start doing that. We're gonna start getting them used to doing that without our lead. And eventually doing
Yeah,
it
if
on
they're
their
getting
own,
like truck parts, just put down
which truck it
for
is.
this
and-
truck and
So
what part.
if it's a part for a vehicle, we'd like to know the vehicle too. If you could remember to ask.
yeah, and like normally if it says parts, if it's just parts and a bunch of nuts and bolts and something, they'll label it 513 also, they obviously fix something.
Yeah.
You know, if it's the garage, they probably put a bookshelf up, you know what I mean? So, do something about that nature, so that's self-explanatory, but it's, if I have a question, I'd ask them and then they will put it out.
Just ask them to write it on. There you go. All right. So, we have a new policy, policy revision. This will actually be inserted into our procurement policy.
Now, the only thing I would like to know is Captain Wellington or Mark, chief still on there, because I don't want to adopt this before the fire department is able to do
No,
their part. They're done. Okay.
you don't want to, why not?
Because he can't get in here till like 6:30 before the board meetings.
All right, the fire department doesn't have a lot though,
They don't,
so that might be your exception.
until they can get that list.
Until they can get a fire chief or somebody. So did you understand? Yeah, so that's one of your,
Chief's gonna be on this side.
yeah,
But until then,
mostly, yeah. I mean, most of the time, I don't see it being a problem, except like the exceptions that we talked about.
Right, but isn't Chad a chief or something?
No, it's a
he's
cap,
the third assistant.
Yeah.
Or, so he's the second assistant. Mark's first, then there's Doug Brooks, then there's Chad. But I haven't gotten that list approved yet, from the fire council. So in the meantime, just so you know, the fire department will still be doing it, but he'll be signing the bills when you come in on Tuesday. And the fire department probably won't be signing, because he has to work and gets there 6:30. So that will be a temporary exclusion from the way this is reading.
But I thought that's already approved on the 3 chiefs, that thought we agreed to that.
yes, but they don't all have signature authority.
So you asked them to get it.
Who gives them that authority? Would it be
Their fire council
Oh, I
should
see.
do that. That's what we asked anyway. We asked that their fire council establish that, the protocol for the fire department.
Okay, and they haven't done yet.
Right. I don't think they've had a meeting.
That's probably
The
it.
chief said something about it coming up, so he was working on that. If it's okay, we'll adopt this change to our current procurement policy and have it inserted.
Don't know, just a separate thing, we want it in the policy, because Michelle specifically did that policy meet.
Yes, but this was our part of it. It was the actual auditing part of it that she didn't touch.
So where will I be inserting this, anywhere? I've got it coming here. I just want to be sure.
I know you do. I thought we knew where it was going. That's okay.
Procurement and
Yeah, it's like a third of the way down on one of the pages. Okay, it's going to go in that section where it says documentation for each of the above shall be as follows. It's going to be in there, I believe. Yeah, because that's the processing. So,
Okay,
You see-
number 12.
what's that?
Number 12 on the procurement policy?
Oh, no, number 5.
Documentation is required of each action taken in connection with procurement. So those 12.
Oh, actually, it would fit in better there, didn't it? I thought it was going in under number 5. Yes, that would work better there.
Okay, so, all right, gotcha.
And I think it eliminates that whole, it changes that whole section. This is the documentation,
Okay. Gotcha.
okay?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for that. So a motion to adopt that revision to that policy,
Make a motion.
and a second,
second.
and a vote.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
and yes, thank you.
So I will also distribute that to the employees.
Yes, thank you. All set?
I am, thank you.
Thank you. What do we have today? I told you I have the budget almost ready to go. We did
Oh, I'm
the,
sorry. Trustee Walshewski just reminded me, the District Court County withdrew their application.
because we couldn't,
No, they withdrew it, they had an emergency meeting, and they just canceled it
okay,
because of COVID.
okay, that's too bad. Oh, hopefully next year will bring better planning time. All right, budget, River Street improvement. Casella is requesting a key for Mondays when they come to pick up recyclables. We don't give out keys anymore unless it's approved by the board. I went around and around with, the county planning and with our DPW to find the most suitable arrangement. We thought maybe we could leave the gate open, but DPW is not comfortable with that. So it was requested that we give a key out to Casella. And I have the assurance of Lonnie O'Brien, the general manager for Oneonta Hauling, Otsego and Schoharie transfer stations. I will give you my assurance that we will replace the key if anything were to happen. We returned one that we had, but we'll be sure to not to lose another one. So they believe they returned it, I guess.
They did, they returned the one that I let them use.
Yeah, but not the
because
other one
They
that they
didn't.
lost.
Yeah, because they lost the one.
But they've guaranteed to replace the key that if they should lose it. Is that adequate assurance for this board?
No, that's, what day?
Mondays
Mondays.
is usually when they come and get the recycle bins.
And what time is that?
It's usually, it sounds like it's later in the morning, like closer to noon.
Yeah,
And the problem with that is days off, not being able to get somebody down there to unlock it for them. But it's our responsibility to keep the security of that property.
plus sometimes they get bumped 2 or 3 days down the road. They might not be here until Thursday because
Right.
a Monday's a holiday, so now everybody's got to shift to do another route.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, my question is just make sure they lock it, that's all.
Well, they're responsible for unlocking and locking it and protecting the key now.
Yeah, just like the other garbage
Yeah.
company.
Is there no objection? Do we need a vote? You like a vote for that because you're gonna give out a new key, right?
I won't do it.
Oh, you don't care because it's a village,
I don't care.
it's a dump key, isn't it? I'm thinking the other,
Yeah,
okay.
no, DPW will just,
All right,
I'll
so,
tell you, I'll price DPW to go ahead and do it.
so we'll approve that. If there's no objection, I'll tell them we don't need a vote for that, right? Court clerk, we finally have a court clerk and Judge Demulus would like us to approve for Loretta Fish. Start as soon as she can. If we can approve of her hire, the judge can have her clerk working right away. There's a lot of work that's been building up.
Sure.
Is there any objection to
No.
Loretta Fish? May I have a motion then to please appoint the court clerk to start immediately?
Make a motion.
And a second,
Second,
and a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
And yes, thank you for that. Lamont Engineering was able to find our water and sewer drawings that we've been requesting for the last 4 years. They did so at no charge and we're very appreciative. End of story. Trustee Walshipski, have anything for us?
No, I just kind of like if somebody could tell me approximately how much square footage we would need if we went into Jordan's building.
As opposed to what? How much we need, how much we don't need?
Close the bathroom, you don't stick it first.
No, I mean, not the whole building, you mean part of the building?
Right.
Okay.
You want the whole building?
Well, think about it. You need a clerk, a court in there, you need court offices in there, you need a clerk, a treasurer, and a meeting room, right? We need a meeting room for this body.
We would still hold our meetings here, would we not?
What would be the sense? All of our
Yeah.
All of our-
If you need to check something.
There is a
administration is over there.
There is a conference room, he said.
out in
Yeah.
back,
Yep.
out in that back corner.
Yeah, but, I mean, all of the clerk stuff would be over there.
Right,
Uh,
right.
So I can kind of get a quote from him for the whole building?
I have to recuse myself from the whole thing. I'm just telling you, my idea is that we would need a lot of space because we have
Yes, I
all
would
of
get
those.
I would get a quote for the entire building.
Yeah, 'cause I wouldn't want somebody else to have it partial.
Right, and would you, because it's a municipal building, would you offer the town clerk or the town court to share the space?
If they so feel the need.
If they need it, yeah.
That, it would help with the cost, is what I'm thinking, if I were to put in my 2 cents.
Oh, you recused yourself.
But hypothetical.
Do you need the town will put their offices over there?
I don't know about their
Their
offices.
court.
You would have to approach them, but
Oh, the court.
yeah, because I don't know if their court space is adequate either. I don't know. It may be, I don't know.
Their files are in the office with all the town supervisor and everything, so
So food for thought.
it's kind of tough. and
Because
Some of them are
one
there.
of the things from the safety report for our court clerk, there's a lot of safety issues.
Yeah.
Involved with where she's located right now. And so,
Does it say how much space she would need?
pardon?
Does it say how much space she would need, or the court would need?
No,
I mean, does it give a space for a courtroom and
well, that was some of the stuff that I had to find out,
it's not in that report?
how much space there is, no.
How much
This
space you
is,
would need?
Just a questionnaire, kind of.
Yeah, this is just about the safety.
And something to explore, the state justice has grant money that's available for enhancing local courts,
Right,
okay?
Well, we should be getting some money because they're going to release like $350 billion to states and local governments.
I just saw that too.
So that didn't answer your question. That's what we need. That's what we need for space. We need to accommodate all of those offices.
correct, but I don't know the size, so
Yeah.
I'll just come in and measure of how much space they have now and how much we would like them to have.
Yeah, how much they need.
Yes, okay.
I can let you know how much we use now between the storage rooms, bathrooms, you know,
Oh,
it's basically all downstairs. Because, yeah, so I'll pick something to you on that.
Okay,
You said,
The court's probably like 240 square feet between their
Between both
office and, between both.
but they,
It would be my guess.
but they have holding,
They need a
they hold
lot.
out
Right,
in the
and so
hallway.
I would say they should probably.
You double.
I would include the hallway
Like closer
too.
to 500 square feet is what they should have, I would think.
Include the hallway too,
Right,
because that's their
that's
ante room.
holding, yeah.
You're talking about this building?
Mhm.
Did you ask Jim Jordan what he thought about space-wise? 'Cause he has good spatial conception.
He's been doing this a while.
but he keeps throwing it back to me.
Oh, he does? Okay, so you've had
Yeah,
this,
so
okay.
I need to,
Tell him what you need. Ask him his
Some
recommendation.
we need the whole building and another story up on top.
We could always figure out if we were to get it, and we had extra room.
Well, it sounds like he's trying to figure out a floor plan for you.
right,
Yeah, so
and a rental fee.
well, yeah, but I think that is easier to figure than the actual arrangement. I mean, yeah,
Is he gonna make the office yours?
If we get some information to him in
Oh, yeah,
time.
he'll make the.
They'll accommodate us.
Okay, but for the court, they should have a restraint seat.
A bench with-
that's all in that report right there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's all- it's all in that
Yeah, so
report.
they can, you can buy a person's handcuff, you gotta cuff them to someone.
You might give him that report.
Okay.
Tell him those are some of the deficiencies of the current courtroom.
I'm gonna yoke in there.
Yeah.
That was my only thing I had.
I didn't mean to give you a hard time about it, yeah, you might have some ideas too. Trustee Van Riper,
I don't think I have anything. I think it was quiet on my end.
all right, thanks for coming tonight. Trustee Putnam,
Well, I did have a couple things. Now I don't remember what they were. They were.
want us to come back to you?
No, they
It's
were,
tough to get
they
over.
were complaints, but they just, obviously they weren't very
All
well
right,
taken
all
or.
right, well, thanks for your time. Trustee Leonard, you took care of your
My
one.
question is the dry hydrants, how do we move forward with that?
I don't believe we need to do anything, we need permission. Who did I ask? I talked to somebody about that.
Well,
Because I did not really understand what they were. I think you just need permission from the landowners.
Okay, so,
The fire department should know because they've done it before.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
They only asked us for approval, right?
Right, because there's one over
And why do
on,
they need our approval is what I don't understand.
the fire department,
Yeah,
Yeah, when they, or you might know, but
the DPW will install
that's why they need our
them.
approval.
The hydrants.
That's why they need our approval.
River Street.
oh, okay.
Right down River Street. They had a little confusion about, I wanted two of them. They thought I wanted them both on River Street, one here and one down the other end. No, one's here and one's over on the other end of the creek off from Church Street.
Well, there is one farther down, at least used to be down there at the steel deck bridge going out of the village. Used to be one right there on the bank,
not Ann Street, next day, the street.
and the other
over from
one,
Main
the other
Street.
one, going towards Herman Hoppers and through that way.
Oh, High,
Yeah.
High Road.
Hyde
They
Street,
put the bridges in.
That's
I don't
street.
think there's any hydrants there. I've never seen one there.
Well, it's not, it's what they wanted to be able to draw water, like out of the creek. That's what there's over there. At least there used to be one there.
You know, I hadn't even looked. I mean, as long as we have to get permission from the landowner to put them
I
there.
think you need at least that.
you know.
Fire department should know what they need. Yeah, because they would be responsible for putting them in too.
Okay, well, I just gotta.
So do we need to approve
Has to
them?
be notified to get something.
You already did it.
done.
Okay, so our end of it's done then. We've approved it.
And then if they want the DPW to help put them in, all we have to do is ask the permission from the landowner, or they have to ask the permission from the landowner.
Well, somebody,
Is it gonna fall on the fire department to ask the permission, or do we ask the permission? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know.
I mean, the one over there is not a problem. Kind of a bond that goes.
Right, right.
There's no problem putting them on there. And now River Street,
Mr. Hazelton,
well, if it's on this side of it, it would be Jordan's, right?
or yeah.
I'm not sure
Well,
who.
Bob
owns that.
Hazelton owns the house on the edge.
Yeah.
But
But I don't know.
River.
We might go.
And then, yeah, when, Larry Winslow owns the one across the street, and then,
I don't know where the lines are.
but either way, I mean, I think rivers are shared property, aren't they? And then if you came straight up on the side next to the bank and you bolted it to the bridge itself, then technically you're on village property, right?
Or town,
So then in
town.
that
you-
aspect.
You might ask the
not
town
even
because
need
it's
it.
their bridge.
Right, so it might be just a matter of, because I think the way it would come up, right, if I'm not mistaken, is like a 90 or 45 on top with a fitting that's closed, like a cap on
Yeah,
it.
usually
And you
comes from-
uncap it, and then you can make your connection with your fire hose, and all it'll do is suck out of the
Right.
river.
That would actually be a better spot.
So if you
On the
mount it
street.
right on the bridge, but you'd have to mount it to the side, kind of, otherwise stuff flowing through would knock it constantly, or it would dam stuff up. So if you did that though, then I think you only have to ask the town to be able to fasten something to the steel reinforcements on the bridge. And then you have your hydrants on both bridges.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to make a structure or anything, you just run the pipe straight down.
Yeah, I mean, I just want, the DPW is gonna configure this into their schedule,
Right.
you know, so, you know, as long as they know what's gonna happen, they
Right.
can, you know. But,
That's part of streets anyway.
Right.
That pretty much comes into streets.
So then do we reach out to the town and just ask, ask them permission to fasten a dry hydrant to the bridge?
I would just look at the fire department fire department.
Because
Yes.
they're town people, and it's gonna be, the town bridges are towns.
Right.
Well, that's what he's asking. Have the
Ask the
two superintendents coordinate that.
Okay, DPW
Our
superintendent.
DPW and our highway superintendent.
Okay,
I'll see you tomorrow.
And that's Proctor, right? Tim Proctor.
Yes.
That's all I need.
All right, thank you. Trustee Putnam, did you think of anything yet?
Really,
No, I had one person ask me if the person that cleans the library is insured. That we should make sure that they were insured,
Okay,
I guess.
I don't know.
They didn't say why,
Okay.
they come
No,
up,
they
do
don't
you
have
know,
to
do
be.
you know?
She doesn't have to be because she's a sole proprietor. So she falls under that. It's when you have
employee.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause she wants.
okay. If there's no further business for discussion or action at this table, I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Did you have something before we go? You had the look on your face like you wanted to say something.
So moved.
All right. There you go. And a motion and a second and a third. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice night.
Yeah, I think we should see what we're going to get from the state in this
Yeah. Well, I'm
$1.9
not
trillion
building-
dollars.
Let's put it this way, I'm not building a budget around any promises. They'll be